lot of my friends in the finance area, a lot of my friends in the AI side of the world, a lot of customers, partners, and everyone in the space who are here. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Today is an event where this is not about just Emagia. This is about bringing together the finance community, the AI community, and the data community all together to see how we can brace up for this whole new revolution that is in front of us. So this day-long session, we're having some wonderful speakers. We have about 30 speakers, each one with about 20 plus some experience in finance, AI, data side of the business. And together, we have close to about like a 500 years of experience in this room today. And there's going to be a lot of lessons, a lot of experiences discussed, and a lot of vision that we are all going to share. And it's going to be very exciting, and I'm really honored and humbled to welcome all of these distinguished speakers, partners, customers, friends, and everyone from around the world. So thank you so much. What a pleasure. What a wonderful day. Now, coming to, again, coming to the agenda for today, first and foremost, we are going to have a day-long session, with speakers, and also parallelly we are having our CSR initiative out in the 7th floor. And as part of that CSR initiative, we are taking AI to the social good, and we are connected to a lot of colleges and youth, and year-long we have this program inviting them to present innovative ideas in AI that can serve the world, serve the community at large, right? So please, if you do get some time, please do go to the 7th floor and say hello to some of these young minds and encourage them to do their good to the society. So then also we are having Agentic AI boot camps and training programs in a different hall right here on the 7th floor. And please feel free to go explore the Emagia products, Emagia Agentic AI, as well as training and boot camps, right? So with that, let me get started with what are we talking about here and why are we gathered here, right? So before we get to this topic, so I live near San Francisco and in Silicon Valley. And in San Francisco, there are about maybe 1,000 or 1,500 Waymo taxis. So if I want to go there, I order a taxi ride, I can get onto Waymo. These are all driverless cars and driverless cars. They have cameras all around them. They know the city streets of San Francisco. They navigate very easily around the city, very safely. They stop when the pedestrians are there, and it's they're all moving among people in a very comfortable way, and the people are also very comfortable with these cars, right? So it's a very, very interesting scenario. There are no drivers in the car, all empty cars, right? So Waymo has eliminated the position of drivers in this taxi company, right? No taxi driver jobs. But people feel safe to get into the Waymo cars. Why? Because there is trust, there is safety, there is compliance, and they're okay, traveling in this. So where are the drivers? Where can the drivers go? How is Waymo utilizing? There is a fleet response center that Waymo has. For every 10 or 15 Waymo cars, there is an experienced driver sitting in the command center, monitoring these vehicles, understanding what sort of exceptions they are giving, and maneuvering them. For example, if the Waymo taxi does not understand if a police is, giving some sort of a redirection because of an incident out there, and the car is not trained, these people in the command center give commands to Waymo cars out there to be able to navigate properly, right? So that's the new set of jobs that Waymo has created. What sort of what sort of workforce do they have in these command centers? These are fleet managers, meaning they are keeping track of their 10, 15 cars. They are experienced drivers. They know the San Francisco streets. They know the San Francisco conditions. They know exactly if there are situations that happen locally. They're critical thinkers, meaning if there is an urgent situation, they got to figure out what decision to make, what instruction to give the car. They have decision-making capabilities on the spot. They are bold leaders because they have to make a decision then and there. And they're also not just drivers. They understand how to manage AI systems, how to give instructions, how to prompt the cars, right? So what do they have here? They have driving skills, they have leadership skills, and they have AI skills. So this is the new breed of transportation jobs that are getting created by these companies. So this is a great analogy, and this is what is happening in the transportation space. This will, again, in one city as replicating that in many, many cities already in the United States, and this will happen anywhere around the world. I like to draw this analogy to finance. What will happen to finance? What will happen to finance? 2030, we're not far away from 2030, right? 20 quarters away in the finance world. We're not far away. So what is going to happen in the finance world? Very similar to the Waymo cars, we are going to have AI agents taking care of order to cash processes, procure to pay, R2R, FP&A, tax, audit, compliance, many of that, right? These AI agents will be trained and capable of conducting majority of the activities. 80% of the activities will be done by AI. There will be exceptions coming in from AI to the human staff, and the human staff will be monitoring that, right? Again, there is a progression that will happen. It may not happen as drastically as what we have seen in Waymo, but it will happen in organizations, in many organizations. And I will give you reasons why it will happen, and it is already happening in a very drastic pace, right? This is the time for all of us to look at what is happening and suddenly what is the shift that we are going to see in the next few years. When AI drives these processes, when AI drives financial processes, where do finance leaders, where do finance staff reside, and what do they do? They will get out of the day-to-day processes. If they're doing a cash application, analyst kind of a job, if they're doing a, procurement, processing job, if they're doing a accounts payable, job, etc. They're all now going to get to the next level of going into the command centers to be able to monitor these agents, to understand the exceptions, to be able to see where do they need human interaction, or where do they need to optimize? Do they need to train the AI agents in a more, situations that the AI agent is not able to handle? They are going to monitor the outcomes and all of that. So what kind of finance leaders or what kind of finance jobs will be evolving, right? One, you have to be smart at finance. You got to know finance. So all the chartered accountants and finance MBAs and critical process owners, we all need that skills. Plus, we need leadership skills, critical thinkers, decision making on the spot, to be able to make the decision, to talk to a customer, to talk to a process owner, or talk to internal sales or operations people to change the operations in a very effective daily manner. And we need finance to understand how to manage AI agents, how to manage co-pilots, how to train them, how to continuously develop their skills to be able to bring out the efficiency, right? So I want to summarize this as we need 3 essential skills: finance domain, leadership skills, and AI skills. This is the most critical aspect. So, today most finance people get trained when they go to Institute of, Chartered Accountants or, other places, AICPA, etc. They get trained on accounting skills, finance skills. But now we got to train every one of them on leadership, every one of them on AI skills. And there's a tremendous need. And let me explain why this is coming a lot more faster than we can imagine. So when AI comes into the finance organization, what happens is that every process has to be reimagined, meaning, where do I put AI? For example, some of our customers, for their low dollar value accounts and high volume, instead of putting a human to handle collections or deductions or those kind of activities, they want to put AI to handle those. And they redefined some of their processes to put humans will be in strategic processes or strategic customer segments. AI will be on this, some of these repetitive low value, as well as some of these high activities, right? Every finance team has to undergo a change of having teams, AI cash agent or a AI procurement agent plus humans, right? So the teams will be comprised of AI agents and humans. So it's a whole different teams are going to get redefined. And then finance roles, we already talked about. Finance roles are redefining. If you're simply finance, it is not going to be enough. You got to have the leadership, you got to have AI skills to be able to do that, right? So bringing all of these 3 things together is going to be important. So now we have put some of the roles that are already getting redefined, whether it is in O2C or procure to pay or R2R and all of that. Automatically now it is getting shifted from being a process owner with 10 people, 50 people, 100 people to you're going to be a process owner orchestrating 10 different agents and 4 or 5 different people, and all of that coming together. Like that, many roles are getting redefined, and it's coming up very, very fast. Of agentic AI and the impact of agentic AI is going to be enormous. You're already hearing in a lot of news, governments are talking about it. There's a future city getting built around AI. Governments, countries are talking in Davos. Everywhere people are talking about agentic AI because the impact is going to be pretty high. So 2025 is just a beginning. We are in the beginning of a decade worth of change. We have seen smartphones, how they have replaced all of the old phones, and even finance is going to become autonomous finance. So soon people won't start using the word autonomous because that will be the norm. Finance is expected to become like that, right? So what's happening? So what is this agentic AI? Agentic AI refers to the artificial intelligence systems that act autonomously. Systems that can perceive, that can reason, that can decide and take actions. So you give a goal to the agent. For example, you want the agent to be able to, you know, um, reach out to the customers right from before the due date to all the way till the you know next 20 days and make sure that the payments are coming in. They are able to decide how they need to contact them, whether through voice or whether through letters or whether through different ways, what letter to draft, how to send it, how to receive the replies, how to process those replies, how to receive the payments, how to process them and apply. All of these things these agents are capable to do, right? So there is a huge technological advancement that is happening. Why now? Why is that? Why do we believe that this is going to be a massive, massive technology shift? That's because of 6 things happening all at the same time. 6 powerful forces. First and foremost, LLMs. I'm sure all of us are using ChatGPT and Claude and Anthropic and multiple other things. These LLMs are growing in such a massive manner. They're able to understand a lot of natural language. They're able to understand a lot of knowledge systems, and they're able to not just respond to you with a generative AI. Now they're able to take the goal, give the list of activities that they can do and able to perform. So that's a huge breakthrough in LLMs. The other is there are mature tool frameworks, such as, LangChain, such as, 𝐤𝐞𝐲𝐽 and several other frameworks for finance teams, no code systems to be able to simply, if you want to create your own agent, you don't need to go to IT anymore. Just with English language, you can create your own AI agent. And the power of creating hundreds and thousands of agents to be able to be in your department, to be in your process, and to work with you, that's a huge power we are giving to finance folks, right? So mature frameworks are already evolving in a super fast way. Multi-agent orchestration is possible. No longer it is one agent. An agent will be able to communicate to the other agent. There are frameworks, there are protocols, like the MCP, for example, and several protocols that are making AI agents exchange information and act as a team. Data centers, you're already seeing in the news, every large company is building huge data center to give you the power to give additional compute, to fast inference on natural language questions and all of that. So these are all infrastructure systems that are getting rapidly built around the world, and they are getting available to you. So this is where there are urgency that is getting created on ability to consume. Who is consuming it? As a consumer, each one of us are consuming on a daily basis. We use ChatGPT and other tools, but now enterprises are ready. CFOs are ready, COOs are ready. People know that this is going to deliver exponential productivity. This is going to cut down costs drastically. If you're able to automate an entire cash application process 90-95% without human touch, why do you need people over there at very large teams? There's a huge productivity gain, right? So again, companies are able to understand this is every boardroom's discussion, there is every C-suite discussion, every company is having an AI project, right? So absolutely phenomenal enterprise demand getting created. The other big thing is there was a lot of scare around AI and whether we can trust AI, can it comply and all of that. Now, a lot of guardrails, governance frameworks are being built, and we're going to talk about this afternoon, when we talk about AI frameworks and data frameworks, data infrastructure, how these guardrails and governance systems are fast evolving and are giving that trust and safety and compliance to enterprises. So putting all of these six forces, and all these six forces are evolving very rapidly, and this is where enterprises are ready to consume it. So what are we doing here? We are an AI for finance company. Over the last 1 decade or more, 15 years, we have built systems for large enterprises, shared services, global companies to automate their entire order to cash processes as well as other processes around it to realize and maximize the financial performance. Our systems have been used over the years by several companies around the world, and of course, we're working with several partners and industry analysts and industry groups out there. Now, we are all at the inflection point, right? So with the goal of making 80% of the process or 80% of the operations in a fully automated, AI-enabled, AI-powered way. And we focus around each of these metrics on how we fine-tune these systems to give that sort of a performance metrics to our customers. And as we are embarking on that, our goal is to bring every AI technology and related technology, whether it's payments or whether it is e-invoicing and all of the different technologies that fit into the process come together. And our goal is to get these trusted, safe, compliant systems to our customers to achieve those results. So our systems, again, first and foremost, enterprise data. There is no trustworthy AI that can come up if you don't have access to the data. So we rely on data, and we have a heavily developed data exchange layer, which goes to the enterprise systems, and we connect with enterprise systems, we connect with outside systems, and enable, first of all, smooth data flows into the system. And then we have an entire AI hub, where we have various different types of AIs embedded, feeding into each of these processes. And our big focus over the last decade was order to cash, and again, we are expanding to several different areas, and I will speak about that shortly. But this is what our system is built on trust. Some of the things that you see, a lot of companies may come up with, hey, we have an agentic AI, we are defining an agentic AI, but agentic AI does not function well if you don't have the right data infrastructure, if you don't have the right domain infrastructure in place, right? So this is where we have built all of this over years, and we have enabled this. Our flagship product, again, 2018 is when we first introduced AI co-pilots in Emagia system. Our product is called 𝐤𝐞𝐲𝐧𝐭. 𝐤𝐤 is trained with more than about 100 skills, and now all of those 100 skills are more than 100 skills are getting into the AI agentic world, and they're able to communicate, and they're able to produce results, right? So 𝐤𝐤 is able to read documents, understand the documents, interpret the documents. 𝐤𝐤 is able to make phone calls, talk to customers. 𝐤𝐤 is able to understand an order to cash process, and to be able to do a credit automation, for example, or a order processing, for example, or it does collections, cash applications, and various different aspects. And we are continuously growing the power of 𝐤𝐤. Across the entire order to cash, when we walk into the customer, we help them redefine this entire process to see, where do you want to put AI, where do you want to put people, and how do you jointly, and what happens to the people, right? Global command centers for the process. You're able to see the analytics, you're able to see the information, and you can make continuous improvements on the process. So this is the direction that we have already embarked over last decade or so. And now, especially with the agentic AI, we are taking some rapid strides into the agentic AI side of the world. These are some of the recognitions for those of you who don't know the Emagia. These are some of the recognitions that we already have. And especially this year, in August, we introduced our Agentic AI Orchestration Studio, giving the power to every finance professional out there to create your own agent and to be able to operate with that. And today we have Agentic AI Bootcamp, and what we're trying to do over here is give that power. Now what we see, and you already see here, Gartner has talked about AI is evolving very fast, but finance leaders are not evolving that fast. What do we do about that, right? So this is where, from our, from an Emagia point of view, we have started this Autonomous Finance Summit. It's not the one-day event. This summit will be going, every 3 months, 4 months. So the next summit is happening in San Francisco in April, and the following summit is happening in London in September, and we're taking this around the world. We also created an Autonomous Finance Forum. Autonomous Finance Forum is meant for all finance professionals and especially leaders to join that particular forum. We want to bring out many executives, such as the speakers from today, as well as many people connected around the world who can share the knowledge of autonomous finance with each one of you. So together, we are all looking at how do we lead ourselves into this faster and smarter world of finance, and how do we create bold leaders. So with that, I absolutely welcome each one of you to enjoy all of the sessions today. I think it's going to be very powerful visionary speakers sharing their experiences and sharing their vision for the future. So stay connected and enjoy the day. Thank you so much.